Euler's number, known as E, is the limiting value of an exponential function. So as n approaches infinity in this particular case, we would end up with a value of 2.7183 to 4 decimal places, which is the E value. Y equals e to the power of x is the natural exponential function, and it's used a lot to demonstrate growth and decay. So it is the basic function where we can then use it to do growth and decay, where we have a equals a0 e to the power of kt. So a is the amount present at the particular time. A0 is when t equals 0. And then k is the constant dependent on the particular situation. Obviously, t is time. So using this formula, we can do an example such as this one. So it says a culture of bacteria grows in such a way that t days after observation commences, the number of bacteria present, which is given by n, is given by n is roughly equal to 1,500 e to the power of 0.8 t. Determine n when observation commenced. So we can actually work out n just from looking at the formula, because when observation commenced, that is when t equals 0. So we can put here when t equals 0. So we should know by now that anything to the power of 0 gives us 1. So we would end up with 1,500 times e to the power of 0, which is just 1,500. Then part B says 4 days after commencement. So what we would have to do there is we would write t equals 4, and we would sub in n equals 1,500 e to the power of 0.8 times 4, which gives us roughly 36,800 bacteria. And I've just rounded that to the nearest 100. And you can see I used roughly equal to, so I could round to the nearest 1,000. I'd also write there that I've rounded to the nearest 100, not nearest 1,000. So for example 2, we've got if $1,000 is invested at 12% per annum, compounding continuously, the investment will be worth $A after t years, where A equals 1,000 e to the power of 0.12 t. Find t to 1 decimal place for which the value of the investment is $8,000. So I'm just going to underline a couple of things here. The $1,000 we know is A0, which is given to us in the formula. The 12% is the K, and it's obviously as a decimal, which is also in the formula. And then we're asked to find when the value of the investment is $8,000. So that gives us our A value. So what we would then do is we would have 8,000 equals 1,000 e to the power of 0.12 t. And if we do a solve on our CAS, remember we go in the main menu, it would be Action, Advanced, Solve, and you can type this in, or you can just use the function on the keyboard on the screen. If we do a solve on our CAS, we get t is equal to 17.3. So then the answer would be 17.3 years. Just be sure on your CAS to make sure that you have it set in decimal. The standard calculation will give a logarithm in the answer, which is totally fine if you have already covered logarithms. But if you haven't covered logarithms, then you will need to make sure that you have 17.3. So your calculator needs to be in decimal.